Thanks for staying with us. So Senator Ndume is trending on social media. He had an interview where he was speaking about corruption in the Nigerian way. According to him, corruption by politicians in Nigeria have some kind of a human face, such that it's about the people, not about personal needs. What he said specifically was, when politicians steal in this part of the country, in this part of the world, they steal to share. Now, we also like to link that to what our former president, Olusegun Obasanjo, said earlier, saying that the liberal democracy that we're practicing doesn't work for us, because we need to redefine what democracy is here. Now, if we juxtapose that to what happens during the elections, where they said politics is local, people want to be given, fed, they want to be cared for, they want to be continually catered to in different ways. So pay for their children's school fees, pay for the father's burial, pay for this. That's what they expect of politicians, not for infrastructural development necessarily, but primarily to just meet their daily needs. So if we link all that up together, I think we had a conversation yesterday, Nima, also of a related topic, where we're saying politics is local. So here is Senator Ndume saying that people are accusing us of corruption. But corruption here has a human face. It's not that the kind of corruption abroad where you just steal every money for your personal needs. Here, we steal it to share. Because if you don't share, you will not come back.
You know?
Nima, want to start?
You can start, because honestly,
but you know,
these people are crazy.
It's a bitter truth. Most politicians steal for their personal gains. We've seen them. We've seen Obiano, whose house video in the US surfaced after his term in office. But we also know that it's grassroots thing. Politics is local. And our people have a way of bringing their... If you have one big man in the family, you will see his family members always, full in his house.
Yes.
Let the man get old and fall sick and not be weak and frail. His house will become empty again. So imagine that such a person held an office. I remembered my late dad when he joined the multinational and they moved to Eket. We had a full house. Relatives everywhere. He's late now. Go to the house.
Empty.
Everywhere is empty. So it's the same thing when it comes to politics. Everybody will now have something they are doing. Their families will move on, But what he's saying is so true. You go to your political leader when your father dies. Former Kogi state governor had said some people were bringing their burial bills to him, and so he approved ₦1 million per person for burial.
Wow.
In Kogi state. So who were the people that were collecting this money?
Where did he even get the money from?
No,
this is personal property. It's government's money now.
Imagine. They have voted him into government, and how he represents them is to carry all their burden. It's not how the policies that he does for education works, how their kids get free access to education. No, that's not their concern. It's how much money he gives them and how many Hajj he sends them. And wherever he gets the money, it's not of anybody's business.
Okay, do you agree that it's...
I don't agree. I don't agree. I don't even agree that they share it with the people. Because if you steal 1 million and you share 50,000 inside that 1 million with the people, it hasn't gone round. But what I'm going to say here is that, you see, the problem I'm having with our politicians is their myopic thinking. They think, the topic we discussed yesterday, his own project was to marry out 100 women. The other one was to give them funeral clothes. They don't think of the development of their local governments, of their villages. Because if I were them, what I would be thinking of, how do I develop this village? How do I give them constant water, not borehole, running pipe-borne water. Like when they open their taps, they start from there, start from lights, start from water, start building community hospitals, building community schools, and making sure that is what I would say they should do. Not be giving them, because if you can teach a man how to fish or give him, sorry, if you give a man fish or you teach him out, which one are you? You know, so what they're doing is just giving you peanuts.
Oh, okay,
so if a politician, sorry, let me finish. If a politician gives you any small change, he's not helping you. He's only depriving you further.
Exactly.
Because tomorrow you will still be hungry. And
is it not based on how you see it?
A beggar.
So again, it goes back to how we see it.
It's not based on how I see it. Let me tell you why it's not based on how I see it. I have to get my train of thoughts. You see, what has happened? We have become a beggar nation.
Yeah.
You cannot go on the streets. The street is full of young boys who are asking you for money all the time because that is now the trend. Just ask. Ask and you shall. Don't go and work. Ask. But the person you ask, you are forgetting that person is working and may start to resent you. For why? Just because you are hailing me, I must give you money? No. So we have become a beggar nation, and it is this attitude that this Ndume is. I mean, he's not even afraid to come and say it on national TV.
Okay, let me come to you, Amaka.
So for me, it's worrisome that a senator publicly say this and, acknowledge corruption, acknowledge politicians stealing, and even like trying to justify the theft by saying that they don't just steal for personal use, that they steal to distribute. Like, as in, how is that even okay? I find that, as in, and these are the people that are seated there. This is worrisome. Like, as in, how do you even begin to wrap your head around it?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's sad because, so if this is actually what they believe, then we're in trouble as a nation. Then what's the way forward? That means you'll continue staying, because if you're using money, by the time they put money together to run elections, election is not like business where investors now put in money because they expect to reap the benefits after. So a politician, when you get elected, you must steal for the investors to recruit their funds. What's the ripple effect on the economy? Like, what's the precedent for the people, the precedents for the younger generation coming up that want to take political office?
Going back to what Nima has said earlier, saying that we can actually sit down here and discuss the ideal, or what actually happens. Because the truth is that a politician's job is to come and ensure that he provides the economic growth for his people, security, and the whole works for his people. Now, to get that, he needs money. Yes or no? Even churches, they need money. If you want the money there, wait, hang it there. I'm trying to say something. Politicians will tell you that I need money to do a lot of things. Now, there's money you get constituency project, and there's other money you get because there's only so much you can get with constituency project you can use for. However, many of them still, according to what Ndume is saying, that we are stealing because the demand is high. We have to share this money. I can use constituency project to build a school, but the extra money I get is to be paying school fees and be helping with burials. That is people's daily need. It's not enough.
This is not enough to rely on only your salaries, allowances, and maybe constituency project to remain relevant as a representative of the people in any capacity, governor, a senator, House of Reps, or House of Assembly member. It is not enough. That's what he's saying. And in the Nigerian public discourse, the book that former Governor Fashola wrote, you can see a documentary evidence of, the things that we need to change as a people to allow government people face governance. Our people will come for, sir, help me with this, call for that. Per constituencies. Constituency offices are full with appeals in one way or the other that is not focused on governance. That is only personal. And if you don't get it, it's not in the airports. And that is enough for a politician who is a career politician to lose office. We have certain habits and practices that we do as a people that we must drop. In that book, if you remember when we read it, that we must let go of as a people if our politicians can then be held accountable for politicking. But so if you represent them in Niger State, for instance, and you think, I'm a speaker, my business is to make only lawmaking, and somebody else comes from nowhere and comes and sponsors single orphans who need to get married, that person becomes more relevant
and unseats you.
That's the reality. And Ndume is coming up. I hate the fact that he's endorsing corruption, but he's admitting something that we know is in our
happens, and we're pretending that it's not happening.
It doesn't happen.
So it now goes back to what our former president was saying, that if we're going to really fix this country, because I mean, I was watching a movie some weeks back. I think it was set in either in Indonesia or Malaysia, and it was a water community, and it was like our own Makoko here. And these are people that they are fishermen. They love their craft. They perfected it, and it's gone from generations to generation. They're not building high flyers. They're not building big schools. They're not looking for all those foreign edifices that makes us feel as if, yes, we are modern and we are in the 21st century. They were fine in their village. They were happy in their village. But they had electricity. They had the basics. So it's not about you building infrastructure to impress your people. It's about giving them what they need. If they choose to live in that community, that's where they want to be. But help them in where they are, not how you think they should be. Am I making sense?
Exactly.
So if politicians are saying, listen, if you're accusing a politician for not building a big school, he's saying the people in that community, they're not looking for school. They want to get married, they want to be set, they want to have their family, they want to be cared for.
Yeah.
They're okay. Shouldn't we accept and respect that? Must we insist that until I see those big schools, those big bridges, that is development?
You might have big schools that are empty.
But then you also need to key into what's the nation? You're a third world country.
Yeah.
You're trying to get away from that. So you can't do that by relying on people that live in certain communities that don't want to grow, right? You can't say because certain citizens, okay, since the Igbo people have been fighting for independence, so that's what we want. Why don't they give it to us? Is that what we're saying? Life doesn't work that way. We're a country, we're a nation, and we want to grow. It is the job of the politicians that we've elected into office to tell us what should be better for us, what should be best for us to grow as a nation, to grow as an economy, not what I want as an individual or as a citizen because of my own selfish nature or because of my own tiny little
brain. My own understanding. Because we elect someone in office because I believe that you should have a broader knowledge
of how to take me forward, of how we can move forward as a country. So that does not, for me, that doesn't...
Let me take this call. Thank you. Hamed. Oh, I lost that caller.
You see, there's a local, I can't remember his name. I watched
I have to go on a break, Mike. I'm so sorry. Let's go on a very short break. When we come back, we continue. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. We're still discussing Senator Ndume. There's another thing he said that we've not touched on. He said that those who steal $1 billion should not deserve to be, they don't deserve death penalty. Only those who steal like trillions, those ones can be killed.
Oh my God.
But the ones in $1 billion, life imprisonment.
You know why that statement came up? Because they said, because they have passed a bill, drug peddlers should be executed.
Yes.
Now, he's saying, so they're asking, when you are saying drug peddlers should be executed, what of the politicians? So he's saying that no, those things, small, give them jail sentence, maybe life. The trillions should be executed because they have deprived many people. You know, I was going to talk about this. There's this, I can't remember his name. I watched him on TVC, local government chairman in Rivers State. If you see how he has done his local governments, he has built hospitals, he has built...
Which state?
Rivers State. I mean, what he has done there...
Did you and I not go to one state where they built hospitals and there was no doctor in there?
Senate president that built it there. When he...
So, again...
was sick, he traveled out.
But again, you see, that's a problem, Waike. Don't you see, therein lies the problem. So, for you, as a politician, you go and build that high-rise as a hospital. Just say that I have ticked that box. But the people might not need that kind of thing. All they need is the primary health care centers, multiple across the neighborhoods, that they have access to. Not those big
projects.
Even the
politician's intention in building legacy project is not that of the people.
Exactly. It's usually not of the people.
It's not of the people. What is practical is what Lagos State had to do. They were forced to do. So people are not going to the hospitals and the primary health care centers to have their babies. They were, patronizing birth attendants.
Exactly. Yes.
Simple. The state had to react to what the people are disposed to do by training those birth attendants to ensure that we reduce infant mortality and childbirth issues at those centers. Because whether or not you like the and the state reacted, which is what I think that there's something called sociology of law where you make laws, the society and their ways will start to react, either clashing or reforming those laws over time. And we have all these laws that we have in Nigeria here imported. We see the bill as we pass in the UK, we watch it for a few systems. We now say that the Nigerian system has enacted a bill of such a nature. And we'll be using the Marriage Act, very, very foreign to us because we are a polygamous community. And the British who are one man, one wife, whether it works for them or doesn't work for them, will support their bills and bring here and make laws of them. Our society will continue to clash with them where you see the man will marry one in church, marry one in the tradition, marry another one when he becomes a chief, clashing with it. How can we now bring our ways into what our people know? Yesterday's topic, we kept arguing that the minister did not try to understand the Niger State people. As this morning, League of Imams said it was an insult. So number one, alleged that they were minors because she did not have that fact. Number two, to come at the people. They took it personal. Because they are a people. Amaka, that's your example of a national body as against local bodies. That was the fault. They moved to want to become a nation. Is that of a region. The nation itself and the region will have a clash. But the people of a region cannot be made. For instance, I come now and say, no, it is compulsory for young girls in that place to marry early. Or it is compulsory, something totally adverse to their custom and ways and practices. So it will always clash. This tradition of us doing elaborate burial and all of that is strange to certain places. It is simple burial in other places. In other places, party must happen with your old.
That's why somebody wake up tomorrow and say stop spraying because in his own mind. Because in his own mind, you don't have to spray. But some people, spraying is part of who we are. I mean, no, don't disrespect the Naira. Definitely don't step on the Naira. But be sprayed because it's a thing of dignity to share in your joy and give you money just to thank you. So again, governance, politics is local. We must stop trying to always bring in the Western ways of doing the practices into how we do every single thing. So going back to what Ndume said, I know why he was responsible. Going back to what Ndume said, let's go back to his specifics. Let me read what he said specifically. He said our corruption is very small. It's a very small one. Our corruption is people-driven. Is that wrong? Because we are all collecting money to give. To driver, to security guard, to police, everybody's collecting money. To all the big men. I'm just saying, based on what he's saying, all the big men that you see, they are distributing money. Some of them, you enter their car, they have bags of money because they're distributing the money they stole.
Because if they come back, but you see,
you steal money, you go and share with people. If you don't, you're not coming back for 4 years. So some people will go and keep it. So he acknowledges that some people will go and keep the money. Others will share the money.
So you spend 4 years just pulling money together and stealing money.
That is what I'm saying. It is because of these politicians, and because I won't even say just the politicians, even the military before them, they have ingrained it in our psyche that it must drop new. And we too, we will sit down and be expecting. And when it doesn't drop, we say, it didn't work. It didn't drop. But it is because we have been trained to expect it.
You're not an adult. How would you make it? You accept.
Excuse me.
Unfortunately, we have to wrap up.
No, before we wrap up, I have to say one thing about the Western. You see, is it not inside this country? I was watching when Prince and Princess Harry came from, and everybody, all the TV stations, Prince and Princess Harry, Meghan. And I was saying,
Meghan and Harry.
With these two people, if they are coming, let them come and go.
That's
they are not even acknowledging their own kidding. And then you say, the princess and the bear and the hand.
I must talk to
Did you
have to
can
rush.
Duchess? Did you can? I be saying
Yeah,
you can
did-
Duchess. No, I don't even know.
I must talk to
So
success.
this is
Mikey, we have to go.
colonial thing. So we
Mikey,
can't leave it.
We can have visitors in my country, Mikey.
But we can't.
Let me let
make it
Amaka wrap up so we can move on.
A whole
National, everybody
The Prime
stops.
Minister of London
We have
hold
to run.
office down because one Duke came.
Unfortunately, we have two
or
guests
came
that has to
to,
come on. We have to wrap up. I'm sorry,
Amy, what
Amaka, I can't let you wrap up.
Okay.
You have to run.
Sorry.
So that's all we can take on this segment. When we come back, we bring in our next guest. Stay with our first guest. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.